Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Today's special guest is Vincent, a Marine who learned how to read and somehow wrote a book. Unbelievable!
What's going on, everybody? We are back. Happy Saturday. Shout out to everybody that's watching this. Shout out to Gruntworks community. Shout out to Trash Talkers that are tuning in. Welcome to episode 41 of the Trash Talk Hour. Shout out to our sponsors, Ventura Training and Athletics, Cardinal Financial, and of course, 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in VTT and get yourself a discount. Special guest today is Robert, former Marine. Did I say former?
You can't say former. Marine veteran.
Yep, and an author and the author of Ratsnakes. And as always, I'm joined by Nick, Buddy, and Joe. Let's get this party started. Over to you, Joe.
Oh, what's up, gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you. I'm gonna make this a short one. You know, I saw the guest list credentials, and I want to get the mic to him. So
yes, sir.
You know, I'll touch on our show last night for everybody. We had a lot of fun, and Nick likes to jerk me around, especially when I look like I haven't slept in a while. And he just took a giant rip out of a bowl. That works too. You know, whatever narrative Nick goes with, it works. But listen, what you would be wrong to do is think that we phoned that one in. I am as confident in this fight card as any we've called. So rewatch our picks, check it out, have a little fun on DraftKings, and put some skin in the game, and you know, prove me wrong, because Bill and I have been absolutely slaying it, and I can't wait for tonight's card. So I also can't wait for tonight's guest or today's guest, and I want to get this thing rolling. So Nick, it's over to Buddy, isn't it?
It is.
Buddy, roll with it. I'm ready to hear what you have to say.
This time, I'm so impressed with us guys. We're doing it. Look at us doing it. We're really doing it, because I'm going over to Nick after.
I'm patting myself on the back.
So we're all over it, Buddy. We are all over it.
Yeah. Hey, we're professionals around here. So my honesty cap this week. First of all, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I walked into the Class 6 on Fort Campbell, and guess what I was like face to face with while I was in line? A whole rack of cordial. Not gonna lie, they sell 10th Mountain Whiskey in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Oh,
very nice.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Thank you, 10th Mountain.
Did you ask for a discount when you purchased?
Made my week. I am thinking about just going to the. I'm still gonna continue to order mine online because we get the VTT discount. That being said, I am thinking about just standing there by the thing and just like doing like when they have like those the attractive women in there with the bourbon at the Class 6, and I'm gonna do that.
I can't. Nick, execute order 66. Nick, execute order 66. We came up with a plan in case Buddy could ever get his hands on cordial at the drop of a hat. At Nick, we got to implement the plan, because he's at risk.
Movement started. Movement has started.
I'm definitely like, I'm drinking full glasses now. I was drinking like little bitty glasses. Not anymore.
So now you're a full-time alcoholic, right? Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm catching myself doing bubble baths and like drinking whiskey and shit. Like I'm getting real metro, guys. Anyway,
the final chapter in my long tab career, written by Buddy Beckwith.
Where I just kind of sit in Epsom salt bubble baths and drink.
Dude, I just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah. So, anywho.
Get him, Vince.
Up to my actual next, my next. So I went to Walmart the other day, and I haven't been to the Walmart Super Center here. So we're talking about a big, giant Walmart, not like the little bitty market or anything. I go in there, get my stuff, go to walk out to pay, and I noticed there's 3 registers that are run by human people, and then the other like 50 registers are all self-checkout. When did I get a fucking job at Walmart? When did I start working at, like, are they going to give me a W-2 at the end of this year? Because I don't work there. I never went through their little training to check myself out. So if I scan some shit and it doesn't scan, I'm putting it in my fucking bag and I'm leaving. It's mine now. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't work there. I never sat in the back with the VHS tape playing that was like, hey, welcome to the Walmart family. I didn't do that. So
as far as I'm concerned, you followed the process and they decided it was free.
Yeah, it's not shoplifting. I didn't shoplift. I tried to pay, but you didn't have anybody here.
I scanned the barcode.
Like, good. I'm not even going to scan it correctly on purpose, maybe. I don't know. But my point is, everybody's been bitching and whining about wanting to get $15 an hour. In the last week, I've gone to 5 or 6 different places that generally hire unskilled labor and pay them minimum wage, and people can make some extra money. They're supplementing a regular income, or they're just jumping into the workforce and they're making money so that they can move ahead to something else. Now that people are even talking about $15 an hour, corporations are already doing the I want to make money thing, and they're changing them out for kiosks. You can be replaced by an iPad and one dude in the back that's just loading Whopper patties into a machine that makes it pop out on the other end, Jetson style, and then I don't actually get mayonnaise when I don't want it. You can be replaced by something more efficient for a lot less money. Shut up and take your $8 an hour and make hamburgers, or work the register, or go to college, or get a trade. Anyway, stop asking for more money, because you're just going to get fucking fired. Anywho, that's my honesty, Cap. On to Nick, because I read the script.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you read the fucking script.
I love the passion. I love the passion.
It is awesome.
Like I said, I don't work there.
Yeah, those of you watching for the first time on Gruntworks, welcome. All right, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. Buddy is very special person. All right, he has a tab that's longer than mine. He also has the one that's just as short as mine. But he's a warrior, and when he gives you his honesty, Cap, you should probably listen. All right, now he left out a lot of intangibles that would explain why certain things are the way they are, but that's a different conversation. We are here today to promote Vincent Cephalou. Okay, Vincent Cephalou is a Marine veteran, Dave. Woo. Not a former Marine. He is a Marine.
I had to throw that out there. I love Marines. I love Marines.
And you can obviously tell that he's been eating white crayons today, because the beard is white. I'm not quite sure if that's still a diet. But now, Vincent, before I turn it over to you, we make fun of you in the intro song. Okay, that's why I get a little bio. And obviously you're going to tell us the important stuff that everybody wants to hear. Like, obviously you were an undercover ATF agent that wrote a sweet ass book, and you have badass stories, and you were a Marine. But what the cynical audience wants to hear is, where at what point in time did a Marine learn how to fucking write? Okay. And then how did you actually make a book? How did it happen? So, Vincent, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour, and give us what you got.
Thanks, dude. This is like the craziest podcast I've done yet. Fantastic. I mean, it started out crazy. A lot of them get crazy, but you guys just started off like, here's the line.
Dumpster fire.
And you guys are
always
over
a dumpster
here.
Fire.
I love the fact that you got whiskey. One of my favorite things in life. Yeah.
Then you should probably
if you haven't tried that 10th Mountain Bourbon, you're missing out. That is
I haven't, but I'm gonna.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna, as soon as Lent's over, I'm getting a bottle.
That shit hits
put in
different.
that VTT code and you get a discount.
I like it.
Tell us about your service. Tell us about being a Marine, and then tell us about ATF and about writing a book. Tell us all that stuff. We're all interested.
Oh, Well, the Marine thing wasn't all my doing. There was a Superior Court judge in Marin County, California that, well, I mean, he gave me options. It was like 1 year in jail or 4 years in the Marine. Well, actually, it was 1 year in jail or 4 years in the military. So I did the honorable thing and went straight to the Air Force recruiter. He looked at my rap sheet and he said, not in this lifetime. And when the true story, I was walking out of the recruiting offices. They're all co-located, and the gunny was leaning against the door of his office, and he was like, psst, psst, "Hey," psst. And I would like look away. I didn't make eye contact, and I tried to keep walking. He was like, "Hey, come on in here, man." And my clock was ticking because I had to go back to see the judge in about 2 weeks. So I went ahead and enlisted. Best thing that ever happened to me, obviously. I learned a lot about being a man at that point.
What was your job in the Marine Corps?
I was an MP.
Okay.
The fact that the Marines would take somebody that had to join the Marines to not get put in jail in order to be an MP is amazing.
All right, it's only going to get better as he talks about how he became even a bigger cop.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up. So I wanted to go in the MPs, and I came out of boot camp a grunt. And because they said
Marines are grunts, right? All Marines are grunts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but my MOS was grunt.
And then pumping us full of that. He believes it through and through. They're all riflemen.
As soon as I reported to Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station, my first sergeant said something to me about an opening over in the MPs. And I was like, oh, hell to the yeah. So I went over there. I did my time there and shipped over for 2 years trying to finish my college. And I didn't because I was basically a slacker. But so I went to Athens, Georgia, and got on the police department there. My first ex-wife was from there.
The first?
We'll get to the others. Don't be rushing me. Don't.
I love you, man. Keep going.
We out of time.
Hey, feel free to slap. Feel free to. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Feel free to verbally slap.
We love it.
Tell him to shut the fuck up and let me
Dave,
tell my story.
He's a marriage expert.
Hey, so people get mad at me when I tell these guys to shut the fuck up all the time, but Dave he can talk as long as he wants in the beginning. Joe gets a segment. He talks for 30 seconds and then interrupts the fuck out of everybody. It's like, Joe, we gave you fucking 30 seconds, a whole segment to talk.
But Nick has carte blanche.
I am telling them all to shut.
Like Hitler. All right,
I'm telling them all to shut the hell up so that you can talk. That's what the guest asked, triggered Joe. So, hey, come on, let's go. Talk about ex-wife number one.
Hey, Nick, were you an officer?
Absolutely not. I'm just a very smart and enlisted guy. I'm a master sergeant. So
a master sergeant?
Yes, I have the best job ever.
That explains it. Why you're stomping all these guys, but
they're master sergeants too.
Whoa!
First sergeant. I haven't done it. I'm the first
master sergeant around here. Fuck Nick and the bitch ass fucking horse he rode in on. He could suck my whole dick. How about that?
Whoa, buddy.
That's not hard.
Him out.
Back to you, brother.
That's what she said.
Okay, can we get back to me and my shit?
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get these guys to shut the fuck up for. So yeah, first ex-wife.
So my first ex-wife was from Gainesville, Georgia. I had trained when I was at Camp Lejeune. We were first forming the fast teams, and we trained local SWAT teams. We got a grant. The Marine Corps got a grant, so we used our facilities at Camp Lejeune. I trained 2 SWAT teams from Georgia, one with the Georgia State Patrol and one with Athens Police Department. And obviously there were some beers spilled after the training and sometimes during the training. And they knew I was getting short and they were like, shit, dude, we're hiring. So it was a win-win. It was an easy transition. My ex-wife was happy. I was happy, and I could go back down there and finish my college, which I did. That was always the plan, is finish college, get on with the feds, because I had dealt with a bunch of Secret Service and DEA guys over the years as an MP. And I just thought those guys were larger than life, and I couldn't see myself directing traffic at 55 years old in the rain on Christmas Eve. And so I finished my college and got hired by the U.S. Customs Service. They were the first ones in the door. So I shotgunned it. I applied to everybody. I rescinded my application from the CIA because they just fucking scared me. I'll just be honest with you. No, I mean, they literally rented and set up a makeshift office for a preliminary interview for me, and it was closed within 24 hours. The office was vacant, empty, and nobody was there anymore. And I just that freaking scared me. So Customs hired me first. I went down to Key West. They gave me an 800 horsepower offshore racing boat and said, go chase smugglers and get pussy. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Say whatever you want, brother.
Permission. Forgiveness.
First of all, you already did. So
yeah. I think Buddy stepped over that line about 5 minutes ago. So rock and roll. The stories are about to get fun.
That was during the cocaine wars, so we were pretty busy. They were throwing a lot of money at us. We had some really tricked out equipment, and got in shootouts and got to, go into international waters and sink boats and just fun shit. I had 3 run-ins with Jimmy Buffett down in Key West, the dick that he is. I threatened to cut his plane in half one time, but I digress. And so I got involved in a case down
Please come back to that.
Come back to that, yeah.
Oh, I will tell you what a dick Jimmy Buffett is. So, okay, I'm going to tell you right now.
Send it.
The first
you hear
time,
that, Jimmy Buffett, we're sending it.
I was at the customs house at our office, and the supervisor comes out and he says, get your ass down to the airport. We got a plane coming in international. Well, there's a small plane, single engine, like a 172, 182, something like that, coming in international. He hadn't declared. And anytime you come in from international, I don't care if you go out and you go, 1 click out and 1 click back. You have to declare you're coming in from international. Now, air traffic control knows you just went out and came back, and it's no big deal. But if you go out and they've lost track of your ass for a little while, you're flying around, and you come back in international and don't declare, they're calling us. So I race ass down there with my partner, pull up, the airplane's taxiing in, comes to a stop. I walk over. Jimmy Buffett bails out of his car, and he goes, fuck you, no way, get the fuck away from me. I ain't having it. Leave me the fuck alone. So I let him fucking go through his little rant. And then I explained to him, I'm a special agent of the United States Customs Service. You traveled international and failed to declare. You do have a pilot's license, right? Of course I have a pilot's license. I said, then you know the fucking rules. So I need to inspect your airplane and you can be on your way. And he did one of these, like, you're not getting in my airplane. And I told him, I said, you got 2 choices here. Let me inspect your airplane, or I'm going to cut your fucking airplane in half. He looked at me and said, you can't do it. I sent my partner back to go get the Sawzall. And of course, I got to inspect his airplane. So I go around to the passenger side, and on the floor, there's enough debris, seeds and stems and bullshit that it filled the cup of my hand. And I walked over and I said, you familiar with zero tolerance, Mr. Buffett? Do you understand I could take your fucking airplane from you right now just for this debris? And he turned white, and I said, but that's not how we do business. So don't be a dick next time. On to the second story. Customs house, boss says, get down to Mallory Square, get down to the marina. I said, what's up? We got a non-compliant vessel in the harbor. I go down there. Our boat picks me up. I was a senior guy. I was actually the most aggressive guy. So I get up on the front of the boat. We idle over to this massively awesome mahogany sailboat. And this chick, hot ass chick, comes up on deck and she's waving me off. Get the fuck away. You're not coming on my boat. Blah, 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 blah. Same shit. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then just as we're approaching, I'm maybe 10 feet away getting ready to board. Jimmy Buffett comes running up from below. He looks up and he tells her, you just shut the fuck up and let him on the boat. Third story. Yes. Me and my buddy are doing the Duval crawl. We are majorly inebriated, knee walking type. And we're crossing, it's just a 2-lane street. We're crossing in the crosswalk. And I get about halfway across. And I hear an engine revving about 100 yards away. Tires burning and all that. Not thinking anything about it because I'm drunk. And it's getting closer and closer. And I look up just as it slams on the brakes, comes sliding up. Not like near hitting me, just really, really scaring the piss out of me. I think I fell down or jumped or looked like a sissy, you know. And I looked up and it was Jimmy Buffett. And I grabbed his shirt, his Hawaiian shirt. He was like in a little Porsche or something. And he hit the gas. And I ripped the shirt, but I couldn't hold on enough to get it off his back to keep for a trophy. So those are my Jimmy Buffett stories.
Oh.
Hey, the audience is saying, Kevin Travers is saying, were you stalking him? Because you kept running into him?
Oh, Travers is probably a Buffett fan.
Well, if you've ever been to Key West, it's pretty small. You're going to run into each other. They still have that badass a boat, almost like the one you just said, down there with the Coast Guard guys, by the way. And that Duval crawl can fuck up an entire weekend. We're just going to go out and have a fucking healthy meal and one beer, guys. 7 o'clock the next morning. We're walking back.
Yeah, it didn't suck.
So when did you make up your mind to then actually write your book? Let's talk about the book a little bit.
My crew that's in the book there, we ran ops, working out of special operations for almost 30 years together.
Wow.
So, from all the big cases, we all spent a lot of time together. We have reunions and all that shit. And it always came up. And we'd sit around the fire and go, remember when Bird shit his pants and the blah, 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 and whatever. And we all just went, somebody should write a frickin' book because nobody's ever going to believe this shit. And that's kind of how that came about. Well, when they tried to fire me the first time for the whistleblower thing, I had time on my hands. And
you got to get back to that story too. What's the whistleblower thing? We got to get back.
Yeah, so I gotta cut you off for a second and then address some people in the audience that are paying attention. Hey, some of you can go fuck yourselves. That's coming from the Big Earl. I live in El Paso, Texas. You come fucking find me and I'll beat the fucking shit out of you. But anyways, how did you get to the ATF before then write the book?
It was pretty cool. So at the time, Customs, we dwarfed everybody, including the FBI. We were hiring more people. I mean, they're bringing so much coke in. It was, and so we had all the equipment, all the people, all the money. So we threw massive resources at a case. And that's kind of what I was used to. Well, I got a good informant, and I got dialed in on a seagoing tugboat filled with armaments, military-grade armaments, claymores, grenades, automatic weapons, bars, all this, going outbound. And my supervisor at Customs, let me back up. They tried to abolish Customs in the ATF in the early 80s. So a bunch of guys got scared and they jumped from ATF to Customs. Obviously, they never abolished ATF, but my boss was a former ATF agent. And when he saw the amount of firepower, and since ATF had primary jurisdiction, he said, you know what, you need to call ATF Miami, man, and get them down here. They're gonna want to be involved in this. So I did, thinking like however many 100 ATF agents would come, and they sent one, and that dude just started pooling resources, making calls, doing shit, and the next thing you know, this guy came in. We did a successful takedown at sea, seized all the shit, and I was like perplexed. Like we had 25 guys out there, and they sent one ATF agent to handle this shit, and I was like, that was some badass shit. That dude was large and in charge. And turned out, though, we got in a little bit of trouble. We were intercepting one of Oliver North's gun shipments to South America.
Well, a little Iran-Contra scandal action. Like it.
Yeah, well, I got called in the boss's office shortly thereafter before the U.S. attorney even got their teeth in it, and said, bring me the file. I brought him the official file, and he said, no, I need the working file too. I need everything you have, because we keep a working file and then the official one for the shit we want to tell people, and keep the working file for the shit we don't want to tell anybody. And I took it in there. I said, what's up? He said, can't tell you. Well, when I left to go to ATF at my going away party, he called me aside, and he said, we got a call to shut it down and turn everything over. And I said, by who? He said, the FBI is the only ones I know that could do that. He said, well, the FBI told us to shut it down because the CIA told them to shut it down.
Nice.
Now we're all targets for talking about that.
A lot. Hey, Dave, again, this is for you conspiracy theorists. A lot of this is declassified now. You can just read it.
I know. I'm fucking around.
What?
There's people in the comment. There's people in the comment threads. They're
going nuts.
Let it be haters.
Yeah.
There's people in the comment threads that still believe in conspiracies. So, like, again, you can read this shit. And actually, buy his book. You can fucking read it. All right? It's declassified. Okay, like we all have to sign agreements when we get out of the military, when we get out of the ATF, that says you can't say this shit unless it's declassified. So, like, go ahead, talk about that.
Are people hating on me right now?
No, you just got one or two that are just
it's beautiful. No, hey,
let him.
I'm an ATF agent. From the day I signed on, I've been the most hated motherfucker in America.
There you go. Talk about that.
Triggered shirt on.
Well, that was something I didn't know and didn't anticipate. But so anyway, I applied to ATF. They hired me in a nanosecond because they didn't have to train me up, and I'd already been through most of the schools and everything. And I found a home, but they made it clear through the training in my probationary period that don't be expecting to get a lot of love from the public. The NRA despises us. And actually, we rose statistically to the most hated agency in America right after Waco. Go figure.
Yeah, were you smoking some Branch Davidians out there, or what was going on?
I did not smoke any, but I got to get shot at by them and watch their whole complex burn to the fucking ground.
Were you happy about that?
I wasn't sad. I was sad that those poor innocent people were so manipulated and so controlled by that megalomaniac motherfucker that they stayed and allowed him to kill them all. That broke my heart. There are children in there and women that didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Right.
And probably had no participation in the shootout or anything else.
And of course,
there's three sides to every story. That's what I keep saying. Right. So a lot of the haters, and again, we're not going to get mad at the haters because
there are some haters.
Negative energy is good energy. All right. So the more that they comment, the more that we get paid. They don't even understand that. So keep commenting, keep hating Vince. That's fine. But the fact that again, you might hate the bureaucracy of the ATF. You might hate the people in charge of the ATF. You might hate the people in charge of the FBI. But you probably don't even understand who's calling the shots, why they're calling the shots. You're just an ignorant person. So that's fine.
But are you about to say something about you can't hate the ATF
commenting,
if you vote
view
pretty
good?
Let him comment, Joe.
Yeah,
it's not Joe,
I'm just saying,
it's me,
is the view
idiot.
pretty good from the cheap seats? Like, I mean, go ahead and take your shots, but like, what are you guys doing?
Don't give him any more respect. I already told him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
come find me. Anyways, so keep going, Vince. But again, like, people need to educate themselves and understand that, there's some people that work for all organizations all around the world that are pretty good guys. So like, what do you got? What else you got?
Well, I want to come back to that for a minute. Everybody has their 10%. And Marine Corps is the first time I had ever heard that phrase, but everybody has them. Every agency, every company has their 10% of non-hackers. And we had ours at ATF, and they've been responsible over the decades for some pretty heinous interpretations of the law and enforcement, poor enforcement tactics of the law. That being said, 90% of the ones I served with, and I knew everybody, we're a small bureau, we only had 2,500 agents. So I virtually knew every one of them, were level-headed, fair-minded, patriotic, gun-loving, criminal enforcement special agents. I can honestly say I never arrested or sent anybody to prison that wasn't a fucking criminal. Before.
They're always the bad ones that make the organizations look bad. Like these guys that are commenting here, they will stand behind all the police officers, and one bad cop does one bad thing, and then the media just throws it into freaking this disaster, and then all cops are bad, all cops are racist and shooting people. So don't even worry about these knuckleheads. I wish I wore my Triggered Pansy shirt today. I could have fucking go buy one, god damn it.
Hey, so does the ATF make the laws that you guys enforce? Or is that like a different branch of government?
Because no. Vince is out there doing whatever the hell he wants.
I feel like that was a loaded question, buddy.
Big old turkey shoot.
And then
Joe.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we do what Congress tells us to do. You elected them. Tell them you don't like a particular gun law and get it changed if you can. But we don't make the laws, but we are selective in the ones we enforce. We do have discretionary power. I'll give you an example for the haters. This one's for the haters.
Give it to them.
Listen up, haters. Listen up.
Vietnam Green Beret, veteran in Las Vegas, getting divorced. His soon-to-be ex-wife is on the warpath and wants to fuck over him every way she can. Contacts local police who contact us, and apparently, legitimately, he had a Chinese-made AK-47, fully automatic, over his mantle, his fireplace. It's never left his mantle. He didn't apply for the amnesty, probably didn't even know about it. So it is illegal by every law in the book. You can't have it, can't register it. It's too late to register it. Our bosses wanted me to do an undercover on the guy. And when I got all the details, I did an undercover only because I had an introduction to him for the purpose of confirming it was there. Then when the bosses decided we should move forward with perfecting a prosecutable case, I just refused. Well, I didn't tell them I refused. I just went out and did what you'd call an abandonment. If you're willing to lawfully just turn it over, no harm, no foul, your name never goes in the books. You sign a piece of paper saying you're giving up all rights to this firearm. And I go away and you go on and live your life. And that's what I chose to do in lieu. Now I caught some heat from the bosses. Were you not clear on our instructions? Did you not understand? Oh, I understood perfectly what you wanted me to do. I just wasn't prepared to do that to a combat Vietnam veteran. So that more of that goes on than the public ever knows.
Yeah, awesome. What else you got from the book? Give us some cliffhangers. Give the audience some cliffhangers. Again, check it out, Ratsnakes, ratsnakes.com. So what are cliffhangers you got from it?
Okay, it's ratsnakesbook.com. One word.
Thank you.
Ratsnakesbook.com. Or you can go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, whatever. If you go to ratsnakesbook.com and you were so inclined, you wanted me to write something in it, you can do that. And it doesn't cost any more. It's just, I'll sign it for you or whatever. I don't know where to start. I think they're all great stories. I always tell the Randy Beach story because Randy was like one of the most fucked up human beings I've ever known next to me. By the way, he was a Marine too.
Is a Marine.
I don't believe you.
He did an undercover one time. He'd done deals with the guy before. Should have been easy peasy in and out. Something ticked the guy off, got him paranoid. Maybe it was just because he was a tweaker or something. But he opened the door. He had the chain on the door, and he didn't want to let Randy in. And he kept saying, I know you're a cop, man. I know you're a cop. Now, he'd already bought a couple pistols and some dope from this guy. And Randy's like doing that, dude, are you fucked up? I'm not a cop. Do I look like a cop? Blah, blah, blah. And fucking he went around and around. He goes, how do I know you're not wearing a wire? Now, keep in mind, we were videoing this contact, audio and video, so I don't recommend this to young undercovers, but Randy dropped trowel, and I mean underwear and all, took his shirt off, standing, this is in the neighborhood, and standing right on this dude's front doorstep, and said, does it look like I'm wearing a fucking wire? The guy was like, all right, man. He let him in and did the deal. Well, fortunately, the dude pled because that video was going to be shown to a jury.
That is phenomenal. All right, give us a couple. How many more you got? How many more cliffhangers you got? You got a couple more. This is awesome.
Yeah, talk about maybe some cases and how long you were undercover. Like, what was your longest time being undercover for a case?
My longest time was, that's a great question, actually. I was right after the Oklahoma City bombing, the Murrah Federal Building. Everybody was hauling ass to Oklahoma. And
by a white guy that hates the ATF.
Right. Exactly. They, and my partner Bird, Jay Dobbins, and I got pulled to the side before our travel orders require us to be in Oklahoma City. And they tasked us, McVeigh and the other guy, what was the fuck his name? Anyway, come back to that. Had been traveling out in Vegas, running around in the Vegas desert a month or two prior to blowing the Murrah building up. And they had identified him, local Metro Intel Squad had identified them as having met up with militia members, the Silver State Militia out there. So they tasked us with going out and trying to do the infiltration. Well, Bird's one of the fucking best operators that's probably ever been on the planet. And we were able to infiltrate them fairly quickly. That was supposed to be a 2-week detail. And so I told my wife, got to go, see you in about 2 weeks or so. And I saw her 6 months later for the first time.
What number was that?
Well, I'm sorry?
What number wife was that?
That was wife number 2. Ex-wife number 2.
What's the total? Or is that a spoiler alert in the book?
Yeah, I think I'll take the 5th on that one.
Fantastic.
Bad question, Joe.
Does that mean it's 5? Does that mean it's 5?
Maybe. So we ended up out there, made a huge case. They're intending to blow up the Gold Nugget Casino, and we were able to stop that dead in its tracks. And
bad ATF agents. That's just horrible. You prevented them
How
from
could you
blowing up the
save all
casino.
those lives at that casino?
Oh my
How
God.
the fuck could you? How do you sleep at night knowing that you stopped all those people from dying?
Man, that's pure evil.
dude, that's one of my favorite ones. You know, it just really is.
Hell yeah.
Because, you know, we've got video of us casing the casino with these guys, looking for load bearing points and all that, and ended up taking them down with a servo motor radio activated briefcase bomb. So it was worth the effort, you know. Not according to my second ex-wife, but
Hey, Kevin Travers, he's a fan of the VTT. He is dying. It's like the 7th time he said, ask him about Enrique Camará.
about who?
Enrique Camará?
Oh, Camarena?
Camarena, yeah, he spelled
Well, the only thing, you know, I was with Customs during that business. And the only thing I can tell you, I was never so proud of the commissioner of Customs. The minute the teletype or the communique came into DC that Kiki had been kidnapped, or they believed he had, the commissioner of Customs shut down the entire U.S.-Mexico border until further notice. Now that's swinging a big stick. The unfortunate thing was that they were left exposed, you know. But they knew what they were getting into, just like the, you know, the guys who go into Bogota and all that. You know, you're in a hostile land. You know, there's not really a green zone down there because you got to go outside the green zone.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we got you on that one. That's like that same argument when people are like, oh, well, you had more of a secure sector in Iraq than we did. And it's like, well, I mean, you might hit 3 EFPs a day, but the one that fucking killed my guys was the only one we hit all day. So, like, I'm sorry that it wasn't as bad or as cool as it used to be, you know. And but hey, yeah, we thank you for your service to our country. And again, it fits in my book of Earl, but I want to give you a couple more minutes to talk because otherwise then I got to talk, and it really bothers Joe. So, what? Give us some more cliffhangers, or if you're done, then I'll go.
I don't know about cliffhangers. Well, I mentioned my partner earlier, my primary partner for 25 years, Jay Dobbins. You've probably seen him showboating on every podcast. Oh, never mind. See him showboating on TV and everything that as having infiltrated the Hells Angels. Well, what you don't hear much about is he was 2 weeks on the job, got taken hostage and shot. So after he decided to stay on the job, pretty admirable after getting shot through the lung, you know. But, you know, say what you will, he partnered up with me shortly after that and never got shot again. So I don't know, you know, I mean, the way I look at it, I kept him alive for 25 years.
That's intense. That's intense.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And again, you know, we talk about it all the time that it's always the ignorant people that say the dumbest shit. And it's awesome. I was talking when you were talking to us pre-show. I told my dad who's in town, and I usually don't mute my mic as much, but I have to mute it because you guys got him cracking up upstairs. So I have to mute it. It's out, like, people get so triggered, and I got triggered today. I just showed an example of it. I got triggered by the comments.
All of us did.
And I responded, right? And then, like the shirt says, don't be a triggered pansy. All right, that's a shirt that we sell. So it's okay.
Shop.veterantrashtalk.com.
Everybody gets triggered. It's whether or not you become a pansy. So I realized that I was starting to become a pansy there, and I'm like, I'm just gonna chill the fuck out. I'm gonna let these guys comment however they want to comment. Right? Like let's let them do it. They're stupid. All right, they're fucking idiots. So we appreciate your service to this country as a Marine, veteran, and continuing on with government service. And again, who fucking cares if you like the big government or small government, Republican, Democrat, like who gives a shit, right? Like who cares? But I'll get here real quick. So some of these guys don't know, I had a psychiatrist actually watch some of our shows, and she gave us some feedback, right? And it was pretty cool. And
such as give me an idea.
I don't know if she's going to be able to handle yours, so I don't know if she's probably watching now. Not sure, but I'm going to keep her name quiet. But she's a very high-ranking person.
Is she hot?
And I will not say that about her at all. That is not what I do with active duty people, or seeing as I'm a happily married man. But the fact is. And I'm still on number one, so we got to keep it that way. Then what she said is kind of what our mission is. And that kind of made me feel good when she said that. She goes, you can tell that some of these people are venting their problems and their demons in the way that they talk. And she said me specifically, I won't say anybody else on the air, but she was like, you can tell that you're using this platform to put it out what bothers you, what your internal demons are, how you're dealing with stuff. And, she's like, that's great therapy. That's better than anything we can give you. So she's like, keep doing it. And that's why we stress to the Veteran Trash Talk Nation is that, hey, get on here and talk. Get on here and say whatever your opinion is. And we'll call you fucking stupid like we called some of them. People call me stupid. I mean, we had Bill waterboarding himself one time when I was talking, but I don't care, right? Like he was so bored, he started waterboarding himself, like whatever. It's, we started this podcast to talk. So get the demons out. We have that on our website. Okay. Get the demons out. Let us all crush them together. Whatever happened in your life. Okay. Don't sit there and just sandbag it. Okay. And like we talked about last podcast it's not good. Like the fact that your buddies died, that's not going to get better. The fact that you seen some real shit, that's not going to get better either. That's never going to go away. All right. So you make yourself better. All right. Make yourself stronger. Shutting up and being a man about it didn't work for the World War II generation. It didn't work for the Vietnam generation. All right. It's not going to work for us either. So stop being so tough. All right, and let it out. Now, real quick, I got to talk about it because WTF was talking about it. U.S. Army what the fuck moments on the radio, and like what Tucker Carlson said, all right, about the women. And again, what Tucker Carlson said was 100% stupid. Now, I guarantee you if I repeat it right now, people on the comment thread will support Tucker Carlson. All right, and this is where I had a disagreement with Old Ice, all right, on WTF Nation Radio, when he was asking, why isn't there a huge veteran uprising against Tucker Carlson?
What did he say?
He was talking about the women's uniforms that actually was under Trump's policies, all right, and how we're making pregnant flight uniforms for women who are pregnant that fly helicopters and planes. And, he said that we're like becoming pussies pretty much, right? And China's getting harder. It's like, okay, like cool comment, Tucker. All right. So it triggered the entire DOD. It triggered some of the highest ranking people in the DOD. They made comments about it. They made statements about it. And so it's like, all you're doing right now is, yeah, we all should have got triggered by that comment. But then there's that emotional pullback where it's like, he's a fucking idiot. All right. Now, when we tweet about it and we tag him in the tweets and we continue to talk about him, all he's doing is getting a bigger house now. That's all he's doing. All right. He literally the dumbest thing he could have said just got him paid. All right. Because all the people are going nuts about it. And again, if you ask me my personal opinion about women in combat, whatever, dude, there are fucking women that are warriors. All right. It's that freaking simple. All right. And then there's other things that, certain guys suck at, certain women suck at. To lump it all together, what does it do again? And I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. All right. It disenfranchises veterans. Okay. And that's why there wasn't an uprising. There wasn't a veteran uprising because we just don't give a shit anymore. All right. If you're a white veteran, you're a fucking extremist. All right. If you're a combat arms guy who grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s and even early 2000s, and you might say, like, I don't think women should be in combat. All right. You're all of a sudden a fucking bigot. All right. You're all of a sudden a sexist. Right. And it's like they lump you all into one section and they disenfranchise you. So that's why there was no veteran uprising, nor should there be. Let the ignorant son of a bitch say what he said. If you left him alone about it, then nothing would have happened. Right.
Dude, that's like 12,498 on my list of shit to even think about.
Right. And I said, I've never watched Tucker Carlson, but I actually thought about turning it on. It actually crossed my mind. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to turn it on. I'm not going to give him any airtime. Just not going to do it. But this brings the question up that I struggle with trying to get to people who are self-righteous. All right. When I try to get to people whose moral superiority doesn't matter what the fuck you say. All right. And it comes up with the cancel culture. Okay. There are cultural norms that could be wrong as shit in a certain part of the country. All right. My dad brought it up. You see it with COVID. A lot of cities bent over and took it and said, this is what we need to do. Because that's a cultural norm in those areas. And then you got to certain states where they're like, fuck you, we're not closing. Right. That's a cultural norm there. So whether or not you like it or not, like that's literally what they believe. So the only way you're going to actually get to them, if you want to change their minds, if you want to try to educate them, is obviously not being a self-righteous prick. All right. That says that my opinion is so strong, no matter what you say, you're an asshole. And then we're just going to cancel it out. Because guess what happens when you cancel out a culture? All right. Nothing happens to that culture. All right? You have done nothing except just hide it. Okay. So you look at the great leaders who have moved the needle. All right, who have moved the needle of a country when they're very high power issues like racism. All right. You listen to all of Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches. All right. Rarely does he talk about how good he is or what happened to him. All right. He never put himself on a self-righteous platform. He just literally said, hey, you probably should treat people equally. And, this is why. All right. And like, maybe we should all come together on this. All right. He was obviously very intelligent. I'm not doing him justice by kind of paraphrasing it that way. But again, the minute you start barking and the minute you start canceling people's opinions and saying that culture doesn't exist, all right, you just lost them. You can't talk to them. So again, those guys that are commenting on that thread, thanks for proving that you're ignorant. And that's what I do agree with Ice from WTF, right? Like, thank you for showing us that you're stupid. All right. Now, maybe we can chat with you and maybe explain to you that, it's not Vincent Cefalu's policies. All right. Vincent Cefalu didn't go to Waco because he didn't like that David Koresh had 9-year-old girls as wives. All right. I guess you're okay with that. All right. But, it's like, those guys, they went there to do a job. Right. So if you don't like that job, go vote and change it. So again, if you become part of a group, you get disenfranchised. All right. Your vote doesn't count anymore. All right. And veterans are like that. Veterans are a very small minority of the United States. And when you put me into one part of a veteran or one veteran commits a crime, and now all veterans need fucking background checks, all veterans need to go see a psychologist, probably a pretty true statement. But you just totally took away all my freedom. All right. Now I can't have, go ahead.
Hey, after the Capitol rating. Okay. What happened on Facebook to every veteran-owned page?
Yeah, they all shut them down. We got our page shut down.
And they did that because those people possibly could have been veterans. So why not? We'll say they were all veterans.
No,
so
the FBI did. The FBI did it. I talked about that last week.
Gathering in that kind of a group, and it's like, I'm listening to what you say, but on the side, it's like, we have to be okay with being profiled. We're the only ones that it seems to be socially acceptable to profile. So, you know, like Vince has got to wear the tag of the weakest link that's ever put on the uniform, and so do we. And that's fine. But if you're not going to educate yourself, like Nick said, you're really just playing yourself, because we already get it. We already get what, you know, the stigma. It's going to happen, you know, and we don't care anymore.
Well, you know,
we really don't.
Everybody wants to be a lion until they have to do lion shit.
That's right.
Nice.
You know, it's
I prefer
easy.
gangster
shit before.
A lot of that going around in the hills.
You know, it's
Alabama.
easy. It's easy to criticize the cops, military, whoever, with your, you know, expertise from a video game or watching movies or something. It's you know what? You want to criticize me? Strap on a sidearm. You know, sling a weapon. Go sit on a, you know, 24-hour day, 7-day a week surveillance. You know, go in, you know, SWAT's really cool. I love SWAT. I did like 16 years with SWAT. But doing undercover work, we didn't get to go in heavy. We were, you know, fucking Lone Ranger. You live or die by your judgments and assessments on the way. So, you know, feel free to criticize me, but, you know, you're welcome for whatever evil I was capable of removing from this planet, you know, or from your wheelhouse, so you can sleep at night. And that's not just me, that's everyone who does it. But I'm good.
There's a lot of people watching, yeah.
You know, they paid me good.
Everybody here.
I would have done that shit for free if I didn't have so many bills. I loved what I did. It was the cat and mouse to me. We were tasked, my particular crew was tasked when nothing else could or had worked. Wiretaps didn't pan out, surveillances didn't get anything, informants were too inept or stoned to get, you know, workable evidence, is when they tagged my crew. And my guys would go in and 90% of the time close on the target and put a violator away. Yeah, I'll tell you the trip is, I did want to mention, you asked about the whistleblower thing earlier. You can go on and just Google my name, and it'd be easier to get the details. But the short version was I became involved in a corrupted multi-agency investigation. And when I say corrupted, it's in the book. I'm not going to waste your airtime going into the details of it. But as a result, I ran headlong into the bureaucracy and ATF executive leadership. And it was a dogfight, and I ended up suing the government. But in the process of doing that, Fast and Furious dropped in my lap. And I had set up a website called Clean Up ATF because people became aware of my plight, and I started getting hundreds of calls a week from all over the agency, agents suffering the same sort of abuses and unethical conduct by the bosses and what have you, illegal shit I'm talking about. And so I set up that website, and one of the first posts on there was from the whistleblower of the Fast and Furious debacle, the guns to Mexico that we let walk. And so I ended up, you know, in Senator Grassley and Chairman Isa's office, and we know where that all came, you know, when it came to the congressional hearings and all that. One of my old partners, Darren Gill, had to testify before the committee and all that. Not our greatest moment in ATF history, but that's what the whistleblowing thing was about.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So, like, again, that's where the ignorant people, they lose out. So, you know, some of them stayed on and probably watched, but then a lot of them didn't stick around to hear what you just said.
Shocker.
You know, to where, you know, man, like when there's a culture problem, it's at the top. And this is for our buddy on the thread as well. When there's a climate problem, that's in your backyard. All right. You can change the climate. All right. But the culture comes from the top. And so if they're breeding a fucking terrible culture with terrible policies and allowing illegal shit to happen, it's just a matter of time before a bunch of weak human beings don't have the balls to do what you did. Just let it happen. All right. And then they let stupid shit happen.
Yeah. Well, I got my head caved in for that shit. I was transferred 6 times, suspended 3 times, reprimanded 4 times, terminated 3 times in 16 months.
Jeez.
Of course, none of it stuck, and they paid me money, you know, and I retired in good standing and got all my shit back, but not before they tried to create me a heart attack or a suicide or something, you know, on my part.
Yeah, that's good that you didn't get suicided, you know. So but hey, it was a pleasure having you on, Vince, and make sure you I can't wait to get your book and read it. It's going to be awesome.
I appreciate it, guys, a lot. It's been fun. Fun.
So Dave, close us out.
Yeah, hey, phenomenal show. You had me cracking up, and I'm definitely going to purchase the book as well. And we're going to put a plug out there on the YouTube video and everything so people know where to purchase it. So thanks for coming on. Hey, thanks for what you did. Thank you for your service. All right. I don't care what these triggered pansies are saying on the feed. They can go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com. We have a shirt for that says quit being a triggered pansy. So
where can I get that shirt?
Shop.veterantrashtalk.com. We'll send you the link, brother.
All right.
And that's where they can support us. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Make sure to go check out our YouTube. I know there's a lot of new followers on there.
Go get the book.
Love our page and everything. So go give us a subscribe, give us a like. Check us out on IG, Facebook. We're on TikTok as well, and then all kinds of other podcast platforms. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great Saturday. Cheers, and we'll see you guys next Saturday. Boom.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.